Greetings, salutations. We've made it to Friday, June 26, 2026. Welcome to Backstage on this summer Friday. Well, it's afternoon already before we're recording. Usually it's morning, but got a little distracted with thinking, actually, working through some things. Had a wonderful dinner last night. Did our first Creative Connection dinner, small group, 6 people. It was our trial run. Had an incredible group of people around a dinner table for about 2.5 hours. Great food, great conversation, storytelling all the way around. I walked away from that dinner feeling like these were some people I had spent more time with than others. I know all of them, but they didn't know each other necessarily. And I think my partner in this, my colleague that did this with me, we both felt like we walked away from that table really knowing these people and each other much better in just a couple of hours. So very, very different experience than your traditional quote unquote networking event. It's a lot of generosity and humor and all the rest. So it had kind of a backstage feeling to it. You know, this show is like being backstage with people. What's really going on? What you see on the outside and what's really going on behind the scenes is often, you might make assumptions, I should say, that aren't accurate. And so, getting to really dial into what people are doing and the struggles they're having, but also the successes they're having in unexpected places, really, really great. So we are going to be looking at doing more of these and riffing on them and improving them, and super excited to see where that leads. I think it's just going to lead to more and more different creative events, IRL events that people get excited about. So that's where we're at today. What about the trivia you did not know you couldn't live without? Well, today, in 1945, the United Nations Charter was signed in San Francisco, California. In 1927, I know I'm going backwards, the Coney Island Cyclone roller coaster made its debut. This was also the day in 1963 when President John F. Kennedy visited West Berlin and gave his Ich bin ein Berliner speech, 1963, which of course translated to I'm a donut. But, he didn't need to say ein Berliner, I think. I think it was Ich bin Berliner would have been better. Yes. And finally, the CN Tower. You know, in Toronto, when you see a picture of Toronto, you see the tower. It's sort of reminiscent of, other cities' towers, but it's unique to Toronto and very iconic for Toronto. And so that CN Tower opened to the public in Toronto, Ontario in 1976 on this day. So that makes it 50 years it's been open to the public. Now, I don't know if that means it was finished. It just says opened it to the public. I'd have to research that a little bit more. But this got me thinking. The tower got me thinking about, what that tower kind of symbolizes. And, when you think of Toronto, even if before I had ever been to Toronto, the thing I think about Toronto is a lot of diversity there and the tower. I mean, I would visualize the tower in my head. Seattle Space Needle, same thing. Think of Seattle, the Space Needle. Tokyo has something called the Tokyo Tower, which is mildly iconic there. Then they have something much larger and slightly more grotesque called the Sky Tree, which is it's not a gorgeous looking thing. I mean, it's this big phallic metal thing. I don't know. It's for some reason it lacks the elegance of some other towers. I think it's just my own opinion. I enjoyed going up it. It's got a great view, but I don't know. It's not that beautiful, but it's cool. It lights up at night. It's very cool. But I think Tokyo Tower is more iconic in Tokyo. It's that kind of orangish. Looks a little like it's in the shape of the Eiffel Tower. And of course, you got the Eiffel Tower in Paris, right? So I suppose in London, you've got Big Ben. What other towers? You've got the big towers in Malaysia that are kind of iconic. Those twin towers, or some towers in the Middle East. Anyway, these towers become iconic, and certainly Toronto's CN Tower is one of the more iconically connected towers to a city. And I was thinking about that. It's a great metaphor moving forward for the bigger stage and, operator to icon. Essentially, becoming an icon means raising up a tower, raising up a structure that helps people visualize something unique about you that's rooted in the soil, in the base of your brand, your life, your being, your personality, but that raises up and shines a beacon that travels outside of it. That's really what operator to icon means. So I'm going to totally be stealing this metaphor in talks and in my branding and messaging about your raising up your iconic tower, the thing that people can see, that has lights, that when the weather changes, when the sun goes up or down, it's still there. It looks a little bit different, but it's still there. It's still projecting an image, and everyone, can relate to that. So that is going to be really, really helpful. And, those towers don't go up in a second, so they take a while to build. And I think that's the corollary to this is, if you're feeling like you're still working on what that tower is really projecting, I think it's pretty normal. I know I am. I'm struggling right now between who I'm serving, because I'm very, very torn in my niche. I started with the founder CEO, and I'm probably going to stick with that. But there is a tension as I'm working out, who I'm targeting on what platforms, between that and the person who's in transition, the person who's left corporate and is starting their own business, the person who's lost a business and is restarting. My heart is really torn. Some of those are also founders, but the founders I'm primarily targeting are pretty well established and in hypergrowth mode. It's a different target. And so I'm going to have to let one go for now and really focus on the other. And it's probably going to be founders at hypergrowth is where I'm going to stay. But it's very easy to get distracted with different audiences and then muddle your message. And so having that tower, though, part of that tower is knowing who you're targeting, and it'll go up faster. And then the higher it gets, then the signal goes out more broadly, right? But in the beginning, you got to really know the base of the tower. To continue to torture this metaphor, the base of this tower has to be really focused. It needs to be deeply rooted in, where you're headed, who you're trying to reach ultimately. And it goes up faster that way. Okay. That's what I got. We're going to keep it relatively short today. And just thank you for listening this week. It's been really good. We've got, we're closing in on, I think, 10,000 downloads over the course of the podcast on Substack. Let me see here. I just saw the dashboard the other day. Well, we've got 1 year views at 7.78 thousand for 1 year. That's way up. And we have, the thing about Substack is we have subscribers to the podcast itself, which pretty much stays stagnant. But then I have followers on Substack, and that's been going up, 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 and up. I mean, slowly, but it has been going up. And the podcast gets put out as a post on Substack. So I have to count the followers in addition to the subscribers. In fact, the followers are sort of almost more important. So not more important. I want you to be subscribed, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, we got a pretty good open rate. But anyway, I think it's just a really, really good measure here. Oh, here we go. All time, 9.45 thousand all-time views of the podcast. So I'll take it. So we'll see where we go from there. All right, listen, whatever you're working on, just remember you're building your tower. It takes a while. Stay focused. You'll be on it. Have a wonderful weekend. Who are you going to connect with this weekend that's going to bring you joy? And what can you do to take care of yourself a little bit? That'll be good. so you can make more money and also be happier along the way. All right, we're going to leave it there. Thanks as always for listening. Please be good to yourself and others. Share this podcast with a friend who's got a vision and is building something and wants a little inspiration. And we will check back again with you on Monday. Bye-bye for now.